Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry back with us. Ronnie is back as well in the office. Be out here for the opener. Welcome back to you after you and Ron bopped around up there in Baltimore for a historic Preakness 150 and a showcase that did not disappoint with drama galore. Drama. Galore.
Yeah, it was a very, very fun weekend outside of the shelter in place before the Black Eyed Susan. And it was a very exciting Preakness. I was holding my breath. You can actually see me on the NBC feed jumping up and down.
Oh, wow.
Journalism one, yeah.
How about that?
My 5 seconds
snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, to be sure. It sets up for an exciting summer with Sovereignty, the Fountain of Youth winner, and, of course, the Kentucky Derby winner, and journalism having their own maybe a little battle throughout the summer. So it'll be very fun, and nothing has been decided yet. So very, very cool. But it's good to have you and Ron back here. And you missed out on Sunday because in race number 9 there were 2 live tickets for the Rainbow, and lo and behold, 2 first-time starters. One of them got the job done. The Rainbow got swept on Sunday for about $185,000. We'll look back on it in the lightning round. Congrats whoever was a part of that winning ticket. But that means today we will start fresh today in race number 4. The Rainbow is a new one. Some late breaking news as well. Sunday will be a mandatory payout in the Rainbow 6. So do take note of that. That is Sunday, May 25th, kind of a holiday weekend here. Obviously, we don't run on Monday, but that'll be fun. $750,000 in your estimated jackpot. Always very, very well received, and Sunday will be no different. Of course, those past performances are out, so get cracking on that. But let's get to today's card. As I mentioned, a fast and firm day. Early pick 5 kicks off in race number 1. We're on the Tapeta, and we'll take a look at my ticket. I lost a couple of did I lose 2? Yeah, I lost 2 top picks in this pick 5, so that was kind of a bummer. So I had to spread a little bit. Race 2, I scratch into the 2, and that is Ripple. Now I have to spread a little bit at least in race 3 because I lost a short price in Dracula. I do scratch into the 6, and that is Refined Honor. Race 4, I had to limit this to only the 6, Happy Bella, and that's because of the scratches. I had to narrow this down a little bit. And in race number 5, 91 is the order we go to the outside, and that is Princess Chloe for Sal Santoro, who's done such a good job with Ashima for sure. $32 there, and she won while you were up in Baltimore. Nice. Look at this opening leg. I mean, it's 53 minutes, but between 2-1 and 7-2 on everybody's. Mile and a 16th and an $8,000 claimer here, 4-year-olds and up, which have not won a race since 11/22. That's kind of an odd condition. 8,000 is attack. Scratch the 4 Mamza, the 5 Competitive Saint, and Jose Morelos, and that is such a big deal these days. I know you and Ron were just gone for a week, but the office was gone for a little bit more than that. And Eddie Gray's back today, and I said, Jose Morelos is just taking his game to a different level. He's going to ride the 2 Castano, and that's who you scratch into. I'm going to grab a sip of water as you talk about Castano.
Yeah, this horse here, I like the Tapeta races, and like you said, it's just so significant that Jose Morelos does get aboard here today, especially when you look back at the last time that he was on the Tapeta. No knocks on Wesley Henry, but Jose Morelos is just, like you said, he's putting on a riding clinic right now, and that was actually a pretty productive race because Nate the Great came back to win again, and hey, there's no Nate the Great here, and now we drop to the 8K level.
There is not, and Luca Panici off his mounts again, so we're going to try to figure that out. We want to wish Luca the best of luck, and hopefully we get him back very, very soon. I'm on the 1 Speedy Hans here. Amador Sanchez, I think, and we've talked about it, even before you left, we're waiting on this barn. I think he's getting going a little bit, and not a big drop, but that was a good group. When Ernesto's running 3rd for 10, that's a good group.
Yeah, it is, and I think even Ernesto, he's much better than a 3rd and a $10,000 claiming level. So
totally agree.
That was Bobby DeBona. Now I think he got claimed out of that race. So from the rail here, I feel like you have to go. The summer is finally here now in South Florida, and with the Tapeta, and you could probably talk more on this just this past weekend. There's not a lot of moving and shaking. It's like they all go around the track in the same positions.
Very hot out here now in Hollandale Beach in South Florida. The Tapeta's going to tighten up, and you're going to have trouble maybe making passes. Belly of Jelly certainly is in contention as well, off not too far back. Actually, was a shade ahead of Speedy Hans last time. Interested in hearing you talk about race 2. It kicks off the early pick 4. We're going to get these 2-year-olds on the turf in a maiden special weight here. These are the fillies, and let's check her ticket out, and then we'll run through the scratches and changes and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, this is an $18 ticket, and of course this race here we can add and subtract. I like to get a good look at him first. That will tell you a lot. Race number 3. I had a long shot here. I don't know what I'll get with the number 1 now with the scratch, and it's a 5-horse field. Race number 4, I'm just going to single the 6 and move on. Happy Bella. And in race number 5, the 8 on top for me, that is Practical Veil. So an $18 play, and fun race with the rails at 59 feet on the grass.
Rails at 59 feet. Key scratch of the 4. My top pick, Ember Crown, is out, as is the 7, Bayou Brigid. The 13, I don't know if we want to call her the other Jose D'Angelo or not. She draws in. She will run. Jaramillo on the 10 to Lulu, and Juan Rodriguez on the 11, I Love Inez. Now, we both have the same horses. The order is a little mixed up. Would you agree, barring something a little unforeseen, one of these 4 horses is supposed to win?
I think so. I know. I would hope so. When I was putting my ticket together, this just seemed like, without seeing them, the likeliest spot. And cool to welcome Christopher Elliott here.
Yeah.
The son of Stuart Elliott, who just what was Smarty Jones?
Smarty Jones,
yeah. Who was just
got in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. He did. You're right. Yeah, I think that was some drama with that. I know you didn't. I looked at your ballots.
Oh, I'm a tough Hall of Fame voter.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's big stuff.
As you should be, by the way.
Yes, you should vote. Yeah, if you can, you should.
No, you should be a tough voter.
Oh, yeah, you should. But Chris Elliott, he is fantastic.
Okay. I was not, 5-pound apprentice. I'm glad you can talk a little bit about him. I wasn't familiar with the work.
I've cashed a few bets with him in New York. He's done some fantastic job. He's a very strong finisher. He's a superstar in the making. So I think the fact that he's here and George Weaver is putting him on one, this is fantastic.
This is a good horse to talk about on top, too. Amy Dunn done such a good work with the B&Cones, Cones, right?
Yes.
So George won one of the Royal Palm races again, with Sandal Song, who had very similar ho-hum, undistinguished, unimpressive AM drills. 50s, nothing to tip off the horse. Yeah. They didn't necessarily bet her that much either. So this is interesting to me. The Leinsters have been very precocious early.
Yeah, especially with the filly, too.
Yes.
The females kind of come along a bit quicker than the males.
We talk about experience in these races. I do scratch into Ripple for Arundel and Delgado. Blinkers go on today. You've got the replay of this race.
Well, it's not the replay. It's a workout.
Excuse me, yeah.
And this was right after the race. And I just wanted to show this because I think it's good to note that after you run these 2-year-olds in a race, when they come back and they work pretty forwardly like this, I feel like this is a filly that's matured quite a bit since that debut effort. Now, they do put the blinkers on today. The last work from the gate, it wasn't on XBTV, but horses, when you make an equipment change like that, you usually, and you could see she kind of started looking around
she's a little choppy there.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So when you change equipment like blinkers, you typically either have to stand them in the gate to get it approved, or you breeze them out of the gate. And so they opted to breeze her, and look at that, at 35 and 4, that's not too shabby.
It's not a big sample, but Delgado is 3 for 9 first-time blinkers. This is a trainer change, kind of, sort of technically. Juan Alvarado, as we all know, does a solid job, trains a lot of the horses, at the farm for Arundel, and then other trainers do typically take over, but he's going to leg them up, so Delgado takes over. Today, let's go with the 3, Emerald Ember. There was 2 Embers in here somehow. This is another Leinster. This is another B&Cone firster, and that is something you need to take note of.
Yeah, you look at the works. Of course, we can't see them. They're on paper, so they look good on paper. And if they're as good as they seem, then watch out.
Yep, the barn has everything. The barn has saddled with 2-year-old first-time starters, winning up at Keeneland, winning here, winning a Royal Palm race as well to send over to Royal Ascot. What's
We've got
Fire on the Wire?
And Miami Style.
Well, Miami Style draws in now, so they worked together, right?
Yes, they did. So we'll take a look at that. This is the May 8th work here. So the striped cap is Fire on the Wire, who I think is an important one to watch. Miami Style is the one kind of in the back here. So not the best for Miami Style, but Fire on the Wire broke like a rocket and was running on nicely. I mean, this was a pretty sharp work. As you can see, Miami Style is always chasing. Just kind of maybe seems like some longer ground is going to be in the pedigree for Miami Style.
Yeah, just handicapping this on paper, the fact that she draws in and they could run and they do run says to me they probably, let's get a race into her, get going with her. I sent these stats over late this morning, so I want to show them. Thank you guys upstairs. We got one on Jose D'Angelo, and now both of these horses actually are lumped in here. Fire on the Wire, Jose's got horses tomorrow, and the brother race as well. 1 for 10 turf sprints. It's not a huge sample. I've mentioned this time and time again.
Was this Gabaldon the only one?
Well, that would be correct, actually, because he did debut in the Royal Palm race. Good call on your part. Yeah. The barn's getting better horses. I think that's important when you look at these stats and when we talk about these stats. You know, the barn, especially a barn like Jose, who's now on the national scene. The horses are better. So you can take these stats with a little bit of a grain of salt. This is a horse that we just showed you worked pretty well. Tote board race as well. And Samantha, of course, will be able to get a look at them too. We'll get to a fast main track in race 3 on a 1-turn mile. It's a $25,000 maiden claimer. Of course, as I mentioned already, these are 3 and up. The big scratch of the 2, Dracula, your 7-5 morning line favorite, is out, and you are well, if it's not a long shot, it's a nice price with the 1. Was some Matta for you, who unfortunately, when you lose a 7-5 value, gets decimated for everybody in here.
And second off of a very, very long layoff, but it was still a decent second place finish. Short field that day at Tampa, but that's all right because they got a race under his belt. There are only 2 older horses in this race. One of them's the first-time starter, who we'll get to. And this guy here, Sammy Camacho Jr. is going to come over to ride now that Tampa's over. We're seeing some of these.
Yeah, great point.
These Tampa riders and Tampa horses, quite honestly. So we'll see how they kind of fare out. But this horse grinded him down and for a second place finish, and the mile stretch out should be a bit better, hopefully.
Price should be a good one, that's for sure. Now again, I scratch into the 6, Refined Humor. Orsino and Edgard, boy, have they done good work together.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. That was a tough horse to make with the Rainbow last week.
Yeah, without a doubt. And these guys have teamed to do good things, and both of them, Edgard obviously, but Joe Orsino's having a really good meet. It's a big drop for this horse because he did run against older horses last time. The firster for Fox, who's been slow, Dave, at the meet, but he's potent 30% with first-time starters. We're going to call this one Boudreaux, the 5.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the Breeze. I wanted to make this horse because it's something new in a race where there's not much, but I'm not a huge fan of this work.
If you're picking the 1 over the 5, you're not a fan of this horse.
So there he is here, and he kind of just doesn't really seem like he likes the dirt too much. He switched into his left lead. He doesn't have a very long stride.
Tiny, huh?
Yeah, he's very narrow. I mean, this is the wrong lead here. Look, he still outworked the mate, but I'm not a big fan of the way he travels. At least he tries. I'm trying to find something better to say about him.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find, though.
Mate looks like she could stuff him in a locker.
Exactly. So you see, I mean, the ride, like, eventually he grinds that one down, but like, they're not really trying with the other one, and this one he's getting completely driven on.
And Jose Lopez, a guy that's never ridden for Dave Fox either, so just maybe tread lightly. You'll take a look at him or just check the tote board as well. 3 down, 6 to go on this Fast and Firm Thursday. When we come back, Ronnie's back, and he's got the Rainbow 6 ticket, and that bet pool starts anew today in race number 4. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to drf.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Naddle, Samantha Perry back with us. Ronnie warming up in the bullpen. He'll be back out here for the opener, too. Great to have them both back.
I don't know if Ronnie remembers our name.
Really?
He was so starstruck.
He was signing autographs up there?
Yep. He's got he's
DQ'd at the Dogs. I wonder how many copies he brought up there.
Probably a few, but I know his favorite person that he got to sign the book for was Millie Ball.
Oh, all right. Well, everybody did. I didn't catch a lot being here doing this, but it looked like a pretty good time up there, and great racing.
Good
Preakness,
group,
Preakness 150, and kind of everybody converged in a little bit of a Maryland theme up there. So. That was pretty cool, but pretty cool today to start the Rainbow. Again, Sunday on a mandatory day. Let's take a look at Ron's ticket, see what he's got in the holster here for everybody. 28-20 for Ron.
Well, he's singling in race number 5, Chancelicious, which returning to the dirt. This filly does look pretty solid in this spot here. We'll show the replay of that. Race number 6, just too deep for him. Banded Rocket, and If Not for Luck, those will be big players there. Race number 7, Salmon's Gold. These guys, Salmon's Gold, if it's not today, I don't know what day it's going to be, and we get Chris Elliott aboard. Race number 8, I singled the 8 here, Mr. Abario. I could have gone 4 deep. I just opted for a single there, but he's got some coverage. And in race number 9, the finale, Peggy Sue, I Love You, Xenon, and Spicy Guacamole on the reclaim for Victor Barboza. That's pretty nice that I think that Victor Barboza reached back in for her.
The old reclaim is never a bad thing.
No, not with Victor, for sure.
Not with Victor. That is to be sure. We'll sprint on the Tapeta at 5.5 here. 17.5 for the 3-year-old fillies or 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. Let's scratch out the long shot. The 3 Heartburn is out of here. We are both on the same horse. Happy Bella. Happy Bella gets a lot of the best of it today. Would you agree with that?
Sorry. I don't know. No, you didn't. I'm losing my mind here.
You know, I did this every day last week.
I
know what's going on.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, she is drawn perfect here today. This is a group that on her day, like 2 starts back, she could win it running the opposite backwards.
Yep.
Well, okay, we're sorry. We've got a little bit Alfred Hitchcock birds situation going here due to our cameraman. Anyway, Happy Bella, she's the one to beat. Raji Mirage, he's been podcasting it up everywhere lately.
Well, he's been riding winners everywhere too. Well, here, but and I was looking at yours because you have a more updated version. Foggy Note is the one that won the other day out of that race.
Yep.
And the Fulminate jokes up. Foggy Note race, just way better.
Yeah. Then the rest of this group, absolutely. Yeah. It really is.
Party Shaker is going to be a number. Speaking of the Mirages, this is Aubrey here on a switch from Mohamed Jaloudi.
Well, at least this horse has tried some tougher competition like the Happy Bella race, so I think that maybe underneath he could get a slice.
The one... Kid Maddie Matt. The rail's not ideal. The race she comes out of, you want to talk about better, way better than this group. And she didn't run poorly.
Yeah.
The last time, I know it was only against 3-year-old fillies, the last time she was in a proper spot, she won easily.
She did. And I will say, when she was in a proper spot, it was only against 3-year-olds. Yeah. But last time out, she tried older, and she didn't disgrace herself at all. She's the lone 3-year-old in this race.
If she throws that race down there, I mean, to me, she is the one to be. I know it's a cold barn. Jeff Engler long overdue to get a win or two here. The horses have been running though.
They're just not winning.
They're not winning. The newcomer is a Loper Tapeta form at Turfway, which we're going to see.
Yes, this is the one that I got a little bit confused. Yep. Yeah, we'll look at the Turfway race. This was the 3rd place finish, and thank you guys. This was at a big price here, too, and was very wide coming off of that turn. Wow, it looks cold there. It always does. Whenever he switches leads, I thought he ran really well considering his odds. That group there, 15-10 non-winners of 3. I'm not going to say that it's the toughest group. I feel like ours are maybe a little bit better, but he grinds them out, and he has enough tactical. She has enough tactical speed to stay in the mix, which is key here.
Yeah, the only question is, does she need a race down here? She has run here one time before. It was a wildly slow third. Jake Radosevich does a pretty good job in the that's not the Mid-Atlantic, but in that Mahoning Valley, Turfway kind of area. Now we go to a barn that hasn't had a win this year. And you just saw it there, a lot like Woodbine. The Tapeta surfaces there are just nothing like what's going on here.
I think the weather has a lot to do with that.
That's fair, too. And they're always rallying wide up there. Yeah. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 5. 6.5 furlongs on a fast main track. These are 12-5 maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Another long shot scratch of the 3, Rain in My Heart. Take a look at Samantha's late pick 5 ticket.
Yes, and I have one single, and that's Mr. Abario, as I kind of alluded to. Race number 6, I do have the 4 on top, Fulanito. Race number 7, I've got the 1, Solomon's Gold on top, but not with any conviction. I'm going to use the 2 and the 3 as well. Race number 8, there's my single of Mr. Abario, and in race number 9, I do have the 6 on top. That is Sugar Treat for Averill Racing and Saffie Joseph.
40-50. There we go. And kick it off here. Do you have? I don't have Chancelicious. Okay, good. This is good because a strong favorite that we're at least trying to beat on top. Practical Veil is going to be a nice number in here, I would think.
Yeah, I think. I know that on paper, you look at the last time the horse was running at Gulfstream with these connections,
right.
It wasn't a very well. That was with the senior paper, but this is the junior. So. The races at Tampa were not bad at all. I'm not going to lie to you and say that this is a new filly because nothing has really changed other than she's a year older. But maybe the light bulb has come on a little bit. It seemed like she got brave in the 2 Tampa races. I'm not afraid of anybody in this race, and I was spreading anyway. Lionel Reyes, he brings in some long shots.
Yeah, well, I've got nothing against that because I'm kind of sort of doing the same thing. I mentioned Sal Santoro. He's going to run Princess Chloe for the first time on the main track. American Pharoah. Well, you don't see Cat Thief too many times in the pedigree. 1999 Breeders' Cup Classic when I was sitting at the finish line.
No way.
Yeah, 1999.
Awesome.
I think I bet that horse every race that year for Wayne Lucas and not in the Classic at, I think, 19-1. Anyway, go check that Superfecta out, by the way. It was like $800,000.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
Sal has done a phenomenal, let's get back to business here, has done a phenomenal job with Shima, who won again the other day. He's going to run this horse now for the first time sprinting on the main. She's got some speed. Yep. It's a good post. We're trying to beat the 1. Hey, let's take a shot.
Hey, why not? And I think that it's good that she's going to try the main track for the first time.
I'm certainly bred for it. That is for sure by a Triple Crown winner out of a Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Chancelicious is clearly the horse to beat. We'll show her to you off the claim here for Sanchez. Then we'll show you a stat. But, she is cutting back today, but she is so much the horse to beat.
Yeah, thanks, Bob, here with this. This is
the debut at Churchill.
This is her debut. This was the dirt race. So she got into a little bit of trouble this race and then was really just, look at her. I mean, she was just extending big time trying to make up for lost ground. And the winner that day just wired the field. I thought that it was great that she passed horses. She kept going. That was 5.5. Look, that was a big effort there.
Yeah, she was probably 4 in front by the turn. So I wanted to be fair to Amador Sanchez because he doesn't necessarily have the stock in the head as he once did, and maybe the stats of you look at he's 17% from an 18-horse sample. This is a really good barn.
It is.
And there you see it right there.
Yeah, it really is. And just the last year, as you kind of mentioned, it's been a little bit on the slower side. But this is a barn that's wins stakes races, has solid horses. And now, like you said, first off the claim, they're going to put the blinkers on her. Now, when you add blinkers and then you unfortunately draw the rail, sometimes you break a step slow.
It's a little tricky. Amador doesn't have the Amity horses anymore. But this is a good barn.
Yes.
And this is clearly the horse to beat. Looks like a good claim today. Late pick 4 kicks off in race number 6. We're at 5 furlongs on the Torpedo. Take a quick look at my ticket, then we'll get back into this race here. It starts with my best bet, spreading deep in race 7. What a bomb I've got. Cross Haste as my long shot. That's the 6. Race number 8, the 5 is Flat Top Box, and I'll go 4 deep. I don't necessarily trust your horses maybe as much as you do.
Yeah.
I come up with Sugar Treat, the 6 horse, in that spot there. Excuse me, I mistalked, but your turf horse there in race 8. Excuse me, that's Mr. Abario. Here's $20. Let's get back into race 6. 5 on the Tapeta and a $35,000 claimer for 3-year-olds or 4, which have never won 3 or a race since 11-22. 35's a tag. It's a good group. You're on the 4 here. Fulanito.
Well, this is a speedy race here. And I wanted to single Fulanito because I wanted to stay out of like the if not for luck type of races.
Right.
But what I like about Fulanito, and I used the 2 speeds and then I added the number 2 Banded Rocket. So my key here is if you're playing a ticket, if you're going to use if not for luck, why do you want to use Fulanito as well? But Fulanito's got speed, but so does the 5. So I wanted to use both of them. I feel like the speed is just so much better on the Tapeta, and it's hard to make up that ground here. But are the 4 and the 5 just going to cannibalize each other and set up for if not for luck?
Well, the 2 is going to go too. I mean, the 2's got 44 flat speed. If not for luck's my best bet of the day. The Tapeta races, to me, are just better than this group. And then, as Samantha alluded to, I just don't see a free pass for Fulanito.
That's fair.
There's so much speed in here, and I think it, if not for luck, kind of gets hit right between the eyes with. I could see Fulanito winning the battle and losing the war.
That's fair.
Because, again, with all the heat up front. Race number 7, we're at 6 furlongs on a fast main track. 6250 claimers, 4-year-olds and up. This is a tricky race. You're going to try to get Solomon's Gold, avoided claim back in February. That certainly has looked like has worked well, and maybe put that behind him.
Yeah, I hope so. Amador Sanchez has got a lot of live runners today. Again, we get Chris Elliott here, which I think is very solid. I think you're going to be impressed by what you see with him today here. And from the rail, not ideal. Like you said, voided claim last time, but has had some time off. I don't think it's a bad thing to be fresh coming into a race like this.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, this is your favorite and horse to beat. It's just a question of what you're going to get today. Right. I'm on the 6. Well, let's show the race. I don't even know if you're going to see my horse, but let's show the race. With Amore Lejano, Golden Skull. My horse is probably already packing it in at this point. I didn't even have Bob circle him.
There you go, 7.
Oh boy, Amore Lejano's supposed to win. Just didn't go by. Golden Skull runs fine. He always runs fine. This is off the claim for Quiros. Amore Lejano at 25-1 is going by. He just didn't. Toto Fino. He was avoided claim, by the way, Toto Fino. Almost positive on that.
Yes, you're right.
So remains to be seen when we'll see him. My horse was some 11 lengths back in that race, but Cross Haste will be your controlling speed in here. He was last time, and he was beaten 11. He's shortening up to 6 furlongs today. We get Lionel Reyes, and I'm just going to take a shot at a price on the lead.
Well, that's what you can do on days like this, and especially whenever they hit the rainbow already. This is a day to take it.
I don't think there's a surprise that both of us came up with the Tampa Invader litigant, who's a fresh new face in here.
Yeah, not a bad thing at all to be a new face in this race here. 2 second-place finishes. The consistency has been right there. Now it's just, can we get you into the winner's circle?
Yeah, exactly. Going to have to prove it in the big leagues over here as well. Your features in race 8, 7.5 on the turf. It's a 25 starter for 3 and up. The only change is that Amicio Jaramillo will ride the 2 disattached. The rails at 59 feet. They were farther last week. She harps on it more than me, but it's a statement of fact, and you saw it play out last week. When the rails are out, you need speed. You need to be inside. So your pick's a little against it, Mr. Abario, from out there. But the turf races are best in here.
Yeah, they are. And
by about that much.
Just by a small margin. The groups that he's been facing compared to what he faces now, I think he's just a cut above. But he's still going to have to bring his A game. I love the fact that Edgar Zayas is aboard him here today. I think that's a good sign, too.
We'll show you the replay quickly as well. He got up by a neck last time.
Yeah,
got up by a neck last time. It was a solid effort. He's kind of on the inside a little bit, and had to wait a little bit. It never really looked great, but to his credit, he did get up, and Mika Husband's done good work around here. Don't get me wrong, but as you've heard me time and time again, you're getting the best turf rider around at Edgard.
Yes, exactly, and this horse had some guts here
Yeah, I
to
agree
be
with
able
that.
to come up here for a $25,000 claimer. That was
nice. And he
yeah.
was way better than just winning by that much,
right.
too. He deserved a little better fate in there. I'm on the 5 flat top box. We've got some speed.
Yeah.
He is rising pretty significantly, but he likes the turf, and he's going to be close, and I think that's important.
Well, I know, and I wanted to put him on top initially because this is a horse that loves to win, at least in his last 3, but he just kind of buzzed through those conditions. So I wonder, is he that? This race is a starter allowance, so you wonder, can you squeak away with it here with him? I don't know.
I don't know. He does have to improve. There's no doubt about it. He needs to be 9-2 if you're coming along, because those races, as Samantha's kind of hinting at, she's saying it nicely, they're not good enough right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The 6 is Stroke of Midnight now. He's going to be a price. Milton Nunez now hasn't had a win this year, but he's got a couple of live bullets today.
Yeah, he does, and I think that the grass races were not too bad here. And like you said,
I agree.
Lionel Reyes, he'll get aboard. The King Doro has won how many races now? Since like a few, 3, maybe 2 or 3 at least. That was the last time he was on the grass back in last October. And now we'll have Lionel here. I think that'll help.
Didn't want to put Fredo on top?
No.
Oh, for 2 years and counting. He runs every time. He gets a check every time. He meets 1 or 2 better every time.
And actually, that last time out was probably his biggest chance to win. He was flying.
He was favored in that race.
That was remarkable to me. He should not have been favored, but I know that they thought they were going to win.
He did run well. He used to be a speed horse. He's changed up his
it,
game a little bit. He's gotten cagey. He still hasn't won.
No.
Race number 9 to wrap it up here. 5 on the Tapeta in an $8,000 claimer. 3-year-old fillies are 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. It's a clean 8-pack and sugar treat for the both of us on top.
Yeah, this is a horse that out of 6 starts on the Tapeta is 2 wins and 1 time third.
Yeah.
So the bulk of this horse's best work, it has been on the Tapeta for her. Is fresh coming into this. Good post. What do we get today?
I don't know. Double voided claim. Peggy Sue, I Love You is the 1. She's your morning line favorite. They can't bet enough on her. 80 cents, 6-5, even 1-2. She ran with Spirit of Victory last night. She beat her by a neck.
Yeah, well, look at the replay too. It was still a big effort. Solidaria is good for Antonio Sano. Solidaria just does this, which is just goes to the front and nobody can catch her. But I thought Peggy Sue, I Love You and Spirit of Victory did run well. Could you argue and say maybe Spirit of Victory on the inside was up against it a bit more than Peggy Sue, I Love You? I'm surprised Peggy Sue was favored over Solidaria in this race.
It's Carlos David. They can't bet enough sometimes. So that doesn't mean they win. And like I said, at minuscule prices in 3 of her last 4 starts, she has not won. That's why she's your morning line favorite here. But if you want to make a true betting line, I do feel like the 6 is probably the horse to beat. They might bet her favoritism too with Averill and Safi, but they can't bet enough on Carlos. I tell you what, you always pay attention to the tote board on barns like that, because it will guide you in the right direction. If she's up there at 9-2, no chance whatsoever. Quickly to the lightning round, as we do each and every Thursday. The standings here, and Safi and Edgard are back on top, and it looks like they're back together as well. Edgard getting a lot of Safi horses this racing week. It's good to see. He leads the jock standings.
Yeah, and Misael, he's giving him a run for his money as well. It's exciting. Of course, Paco Lopez, he's took his show on the road to Monmouth, so we'll see him continue to drop out of the standings. Jose Morelos will move up, as will Rajiv.
Yes and yes. Paco might already have 24 wins at Monmouth.
Honestly, he might.
4 racing
yeah,
days.
he was out at Pimlico.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so but he didn't win any, but he had a couple. Accomplished Girl.
Yeah, ran second. Our old friend.
Huge ride. And Paco did very well.
Yeah, with Steve Asmussen.
Safi,
on top here. And
no surprise.
These margins, I think, will expand a little bit. Now it seems like Edgard back pulling with his guy. We got some cool news the other day. You can see teaming up and More Play Racing.
Yeah.
And She's So Spicy, who was a dual stakes winner for Jose D'Angelo. They have now teamed with Qatar Racing, and we will see her next at Royal Ascot in the Grade 1 Coronation against the males.
That is going to be really interesting, and I hope for every U.S. horse or every horse that we've got the pleasure of seeing here, at least, that they will get firm ground.
Yeah.
That's usually the firm going is usually how it is that time of year at Royal Ascot. I talked to the Dunes at Preakness. They're very excited for Lenny Lou? Lenny Lou going up to Ascot as well. We all got the invite to go.
Oh.
Yep.
I
think we're going to miss that. But very exciting just to see these Gulfstream horses and horses that have come through here hopefully put on a show at Royal Ascot.
Rainbow is Sunday, mandatory day, regardless of what happens. Those PPs are out. We're speculating at 750 or so that'll be exciting as well. But it was just hit the other day for 185. There you can see it there. So congratulations, whoever was part of that ticket. That is seismic. Well done there. Best bet for you?
I believe it's Happy Bella for me today, I think.
And I have that one on top as well.
Yeah.
I'm on the Tapeta too with If Not for Luck as well. My long shot's huge. How about yours?
Well, what's the matter for you? But now there's a
you're still getting a number there.
It's got to be. I wouldn't take anything under 10-1.
No, and I'm going to get a big one as well with Cross Haste on a speed play on the main track in race 7. Pete's upstairs. Ronnie's coming out for the opener. The Rainbow starts anew. Thanks for being with us on a beautiful Thursday here at Gulfstream Park.